It's time for GGSP. I'm Rad.
And I'm Jem.
And we've got a tasty show lined up.
Oh, is Darren cooking for us? I hear he has a great French Perth onion soup recipe with cheese toasties. Yum.
No, but we've got a recipe for fun coming up on the show. We go splunking for Pokemon in the mysterious dungeons of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. Plus, I check out some professional digital soccer at the E-League.
Oh man, now I want cheese toasties. Hey Darren, could you make us some cheese toasties?
Jem, don't you want fun instead?
Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX is both far too long a title and a remake of the first Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game, which came out way back in 2005.
Following the story of the original, you wake as a Pokemon with no memories of your former human life. Partnering up with fellow Pokemon, you start up a rescue team and set out to help others, eventually hoping to learn how you ended up in this tiny, adorable body. Being a Pokemon trainer is one thing, but getting to be an actual Pokemon is something else.
Jem, you seem glum.
Well, the game asks you a bunch of questions to best determine who your Pokemon would be. And I got Psyduck.
The odds of that happening are approximately 3,720 to 1. You really must be a Psyduck.
I mean, I selected Squirtle as my main and moved on with my life, and all Pokemon are beautiful, but Psyduck?
Well, once you are happy with your personified Pokemon, there's a lovely little Pokeworld to explore. You do give off Psyduck vibes. You're based in a typical Pokemon village, but with 0 humans. Kangaskhan is looking after your items, Persian is keeping watch of your coins, and 2 Kecleon are manning the local shop. It's pretty awesome seeing all the Pokemon exist in their own little community.
It's just a shame they keep getting lost in those mystery dungeons. I mean, don't they have a buddy system? Missions arrive in the form of worried Pokemon wandering up to your base, letting you know of their missing friends. Pelipers also drop off daily missions for you to dive into. So there's a consistent stream of dungeons to plunder through.
And once you've found yourself at the entrance of a dungeon of mysteries, it's time to put your fighting gloves on. You and your team will track through multiple randomly generated floors, each containing collectible items, dastardly traps, as well as a string of baddies to vanquish. Enemies only move when you do, so it's best to keep a watchful eye on the revealing map and be ready to attack. As usual, each Pokemon has a moveset, and certain types will do more damage to others, such as water against fire. Eventually, you'll stumble upon the poor lost Pokemon, and the dungeon will be complete. It's the standard mystery dungeon affair, but with the added bonus of unique attack moves from each Pokemon.
There is also quite a bit to manage in regards to your team when raiding these dungeons. On top of health, there's also a hunger level for each Pokemon. Keeping this refreshed will allow you to regain 1 point of health each time you move. Attacks also require PP, so you'll need to keep note of what you're using, and occasionally top up attacks with some ether. Oh, keeping track of all those wonderful numbers, it sets my processor aflutter.
Okay, settle down, Darren. Now, as you maneuver through the dungeons, the occasional baddie may request to join your rescue team, but only after you defeat them. If you accept, they'll continue alongside you and help out in battle. At the end of the dungeon, you'll need to relocate them to a camp if you want them to stay in your team. The more Pokemon types you enlist, the stronger your team can be. There's so many systems at play here, it took me a hot second to get my head around it.
I do love a good bit of management, but even once I'd made sense of it all, Rescue Team doesn't give you much room to play with it. Whilst in dungeons, enemy types are generally unknown until they're just a few steps in front of you, and you'll often encounter them in tight laneways. This makes it almost impossible to position the most effective Pokemon up front, and then it's all turn-based, so if you move back, the enemy will just hit you. It really is a Pokemon version of Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, which isn't a compliment.
Though I did like the risk-reward of pushing deeper into dungeons, some did take a surprisingly difficult turn early on. I needed to grind on the easier available dungeons to level up my heroes to even have a chance at clearing the harder dungeons.
And this is not a game you want to spend time grinding in. The gameplay is repetitive enough already.
But even after all that, you'll probably still get defeated. Devastating.
It is pretty rough, but thankfully you're not alone in this Poke World. New to this remaster is the ability to request help from real-world players. When you get defeated in a dungeon, you can put out a call for help from other rescue teams. Other players will get a job notification and actually have to fish you out of a dungeon. I love this. It's pretty cool that the game relies on the community in a fun, in-universe way.
Yeah, it really makes the world feel alive, doesn't it? Another big shake-up for this remaster is the game's lovely new art style. You're basically staring at an animated watercolor sketchbook. All the classic characters are brought to life in such adorable animations too. It's so hard not to go, "Aw," whenever Eevee comes on screen.
Nintendo has really hit a winning streak in regards to making bold visual changes for their remasters. From Link's Awakening to this. Such visual variety. And now, what did we think overall?
Well, despite teasing me with some glorious strategy, the dungeon design meant that my plans never came to fruition. Setting it in the Pokemon world does lift it above other mystery dungeon games, but it's still 2.5 out of 5 rubber chickens from me.
Yeah, when it all boils down to it, I was pretty disappointed. The core gameplay is rather basic, and despite the potential depth in team building, this got boring fast. So I'm giving Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX 2.5 out of 5 rubber chickens as well. Seriously though, Psyduck? Oh, thank you, Hand. I've been meaning to ask you while I've got you here, is a manicure like a haircut for you? Huh. Really? Interesting. Oh, hello! Welcome to The Scoop. We've got updates from all around the gaming newsiverse. First up, this year's Electronic Entertainment Expo E3 in Los Angeles has officially been called off. Organisers made the tough decision to cancel the June event to help protect public health and safety amid concerns surrounding COVID-19. But we're still set to hear announcements about upcoming games from many of the game publishers who are due to attend, just delivered in a different way. So stay tuned for a more digital delivery of that news down the track. And Sony has finally announced some new updates for the upcoming PS5. We mostly heard about hardware specifications, like its 10.28 teraflop GPU performance and an advanced audio processor known as the Tempest Engine for super lifelike sound. Though you may have to send an image of your ear to get the most out of it.
Maybe you'll be sending us a photo of your ear and we'll choose a neural network to pick the closest HRTF in our library.
This followed a full tech spec release from Xbox Series X, with its 12 teraflops and demo of Minecraft ray tracing in action, quick resume, and loading times. Sony is still yet to confirm what the PS5 looks like, so for now, we can only imagine. Maybe it has wings, or a unicorn horn. Oh, the possibilities. Moving on, and Team 17, the developers of the Worms games, have announced that Worms will be back in 2020. The turn-based tactics series has been around since the 1990s in many different formats, and it looks like we're bound for another installment this year. Not much was revealed in the teaser trailer, except for the fact we should expect worms like we've never played before. Whatever that means. Maybe they're even wrigglier? I don't know. In other news, if you're keen on the idea of terraforming your island in the new Animal Crossing game, this fan-made browser tool might be of interest. The Happy Island designer features a customizable island map, so you can plot out spots from above for things like trees, rivers and beaches, as well as where your villagers' houses might be. It's not officially linked to the game, but the town planner in me finds this very appealing. Palm trees everywhere. And now for the extra scoop. This week, something absolutely adorable that's recently come to my attention is Super Mario Cat Bros. A creator known as Mr. TV Cow made this gorgeous short film featuring a cute real-life cat in a Mario costume who, along with human sidekick Luigi, sets out on a quest to collect coins and save a princess. Aww, you had me at a cat in a Mario costume. Hey, maybe they should call it Super Mario Bros. No? Oh, okay. Well, that's it for the scoop this week. Super Mario Bros though, that was a good one. Hey, watch out for Meowser. Okay, I'll stop now. It was good though.
Esports has been a buzzword in video games for a while now. Stories of young, talented players winning millions of dollars just by playing video games. But even though Australia has produced some top-tier talent, there's not much of a culture of watching esports or of global tournaments being held in the country. Now there's an unlikely hero trying to create opportunities in esports, the Football Federation of Australia. They've been building an esports league, known as the E-League, to try and bring world-class tournaments to Australia.
Oh, this will be a wonderful goal! What a goal!
And this might make space, and straight on in! And
firing it in, Barissa! What a ball from Diamanti!
With at least 7 million football fans in Australia and millions of them also being gamers, the FFA is using the E-League to connect traditional sports with its gaming counterpart. In this case, EA Sports' FIFA. So why did the FFA decide to start the E-League?
Well, it started with a few of the players that we actually even had in the A-League playing a lot of E-League in their vacant time. And then we said, well, actually, why don't we bring those guys on? And then it came to, actually, why don't we do it properly? Why don't we go and represent every team? Everyone has their own player, play against each other in their jerseys. We thought that'd be a great idea. When you think about the traditional game, where you get the athletes who then can go on to play in the Olympics or can get to play in the World Cup, what happens now in the E-League is the same opportunities, right? So there's the points that build to World Cup status and all those sorts of things. So great opportunities for all the players that are here.
The E-League competition consists of the 9 A-League clubs, each with 2 players. 1 Xbox player and 1 PlayStation player. They play 11 rounds split over 2 weekends to determine the seeding, or who versus who in the grand final, which is held later in the year. The winner of the PlayStation and Xbox divisions then play off to be the E-League champion. One player that knows all about that is defending champion Sydney FC's Mark Brzezinski. So you also played in the FIFA E-World Cup last year. How does E-League compare to that?
Obviously, we've got so many good players coming up through the ranks here in Australia, and it's crazy to see just how far our scene's come, especially EA have taken notice and given us 450 points for the winner. So if that doesn't say anything, I don't know what does. We'd only have 1 spot in qualifiers online, which I still believe is crazy. The amount of players here that are just really good, it's certainly getting more and more every year, so yeah.
Another player that has found a path to success through the E-League is Melbourne City's Marcus Gomes, who faced off with Mark in last year's grand final. Marcus exploded onto the FIFA scene in the first season of the E-League. This year, he's joined by his young brother Dylan, who's hoping to follow in his footsteps. So Marcus and Dylan, you are both playing today, and you're brothers, but you're playing in different divisions. How is the rivalry there?
It's pretty intense. We actually played the first round. We're in different consoles though, so luckily we don't play against each other, but it's pretty intense and we ended up winning. So yeah, older brother has the bragging rights at the moment.
And your parents must be proud too.
Yeah, they are. Mum especially. She's always wants to watch us and see what's going on. Yeah, she's very, very supportive. Initially, she was a bit worried that Dylan would be following the same path as me because being a pro gamer, there's a lot of risk involved. But now I've convinced her enough to let him come here and see the experience, and yeah, now she's got our full support.
How do you find that the scene in Australia is changing?
It's definitely developing a lot. You know, FIFA 17, you had the guys who would break through. Marcus was one of them. You had the trademark name, so a lot of them are here. Now you see players every year that you've never really heard of coming up who are very good, just challenging the top players. So it's definitely getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Would you have any advice for younger kids who are interested in maybe getting into something like this?
I think definitely just try and have fun with it initially, and as you get better and better, then you start getting into that competitive side of it. If you go in with a competitive mindset from the get-go, when things aren't going your way, you're not going to have fun with it at all.
inside the deflection!
This game is so good.
I'll let Dylan commentate that one for you at home.
Adding on top of that, you want to keep a good work balance, complete your schooling, really just be realistic about the future.
How do you find that having the FFA put on a competition like this is changing esports?
Well, I think it's instrumental because we wouldn't have a competition without the A-League clubs backing us. You know, they have 2 players per club. got good support, good venue, everything.
It was all slow getting into it, and then they've finally backed it and seen the progression and the type of audience that it's attracting and the numbers and that. So it's doing wonders, and you can see the awesome production that goes on to these events, and it's only getting bigger every year.
So what's your end goal for the E-League? What's your big dream where you'd like to see it go?
We'd actually like to build it in such a way that it got a lot of fans that we could actually play it in the stadiums before the outdoor football or small games at half-time. So that actually the fans of both can start to cross over. So our thinking is, how do we bring the esports people to the big stadiums to watch football and their esports? We think that's going to happen, and we want to be part of it.
Rightio, Jem, we better get stuck right into a fresh batch of Ask SP questions.
Yes, they are indeed fresh and very much in a batch.
First up, we have a questo from Dry Horizon in Runaway Bay. Good time of day, GGSP. What is your favourite Zelda game? Not including Breath of the Wild. If I receive no answer, I will simply give Ganon the Triforce.
Well, thanks, Dry Horizon, and a good time of day to you too. So my favourite Zelda game is Majora's Mask. I love the visual style, and the story really stuck with me. Plus, I just love the funky use of resetting time to progress. What about you, Rad?
Well, I'm not a huge Zelda fan myself, but I did love taking to the high seas in Wind Waker. Oh, I bet there's fish out there, Jem.
Oh, absolutely. All right, that should keep the Triforce out of Ganon's hands for now. So let's move on to another question, and this one is from Tomorrow, who's in Today, Victoria.
How is that possible?
I don't know, time travel? Majora's Mask? I am in a bit of a bind, so I ask if you could give me some titles of visually stunning game. I want to play games that simply amaze the eyes. P.S. Darren, do you have any actuators? If so, how well are they functioning?
Thank you, Tomorrow. You know, you're only a day away.
Now, if you're after some visually stunning gaming experiences, well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as they say. So if you want your eyes to be amazed, it depends on what amazes them.
Good point. If, for instance, it's sweeping vistas that float your boat, Sea of Thieves is pretty impressive. That water, those sunsets, so pretty. Gotta love a good slow pan in a game like this too.
Ah yes, a fantastic pan. Fantastic. To me though, a game doesn't always need to have realistic sweeping vistas or beefy graphics to be visually stunning. It can also be a treat for the eyes through an interesting or enchanting art style, like Ori and the Will of the Wisps, or its predecessor, Ori and the Blind Forest, and the Ni no Kuni games if you like that Studio Ghibli anime feel.
You might also enjoy casting your eyes to the Outer Wilds, or No Man's Sky for some great space aesthetics, or the varied underwater biomes of Subnautica or Abzu.
I remember being taken aback, astonished if you will, at the beauty and splendour of Journey.
Oh, that sand level is so pretty with the sun coming down and it's all shiny. Some truly stunning pics there. Now, let's get Darren on the line to talk about his actuator things.
Greetings, this is Darren.
Hi, Darren. Tamara here is asking if you have any actuators, and if so, how well are they functioning? And you should probably also explain to Jem what actuators are, because she doesn't know, but I totally do.
Well, an actuator is, of course, a device or component that creates movement via a signal or source of energy. In some robot circles, it's considered a bit impolite to ask about one's actuator status. Not me, though. In fact, there's a whole volume of my memoirs dedicated to actuators. All I need is the right publisher. Oh, I could go on for days about actuators, actually.
Please don't.
Well, in any case, I don't mind sharing that I am fitted with some highly advanced actuation technologies, and I always make sure they're functioning at optimal capacity.
Oh, riveting stuff, Darren.
Oh, that reminds me, I also have loads of opinions about rivets. Oh, I feel another memoir chapter coming on.
Right, well, thanks for that, Darren. Bye.
Bye.
Moving on now to a video question, and this one is from Starlord64.
Hey GGSP, I have 3 questions for you. Number 1, how long does it take to complete the main campaign in Dragon Ball FighterZ? Number 2, how would you rate the Cuphead difficulty from 1 to 10? And number 3, in Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2, how do you unlock different costumes for them? Thanks, Starlord64 out.
Thanks, StarLord64. In answer to your first question about how long it takes to complete the main campaign in Dragon Ball FighterZ, well, it depends on your personal pace and how much extra stuff you do. But I'd give it a ballpark of around 10 to 15 hours.
As for what we'd rate Cuphead's difficulty from 1 to 10, well, I did find Cuphead to be quite the challenge. So I'm gonna give it 8.5 out of 10 on the Challenger meter. What about you, Red?
Jam, I've got to give it a solid 9 on that Challenger meter. It is a great game and I love the art style and music, but those boss battles can be pretty unforgiving.
Out of curiosity, what game would you give 10 on the Challenger meter?
Maybe the Impossible game? I mean, it's right there in the title. Impossible!
Oh yeah, that looks heaps like Geometry Dash, which can be pretty tricky too. I'd add Getting Over It and Trap Adventure 2 to that list.
Oh, totally. Now, as for how to unlock costumes in Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, well, most customization items like hats, accessories, skins, and that kind of thing are generally unlockable through sticker packs. These can be purchased with in-game PVZ coins.
Although some of the rarer items, like special and legendary items, can be unlocked through, say, a secret room or chest, or alongside other achievements.
And on that note, we have run out of Ask SP time for the week. If you have a question you'd like to ask us, go here to send it in.
And keep those great video questions coming in for your chance to score some sweet GGSP merch.
I wonder if Darren's memoirs will ever be officially published.
Maybe as an ebook. Well, that's all, folks. Until next week, that is. Why do real chores when you can do all the virtual cleaning and renovating your heart desires in House Flipper?
But if you think cleaning houses on Earth is boring, maybe you'll like it better in space with a few friends. We check out the co-op shenanigans of Out of Space. And make sure to check out the ABC Me app for an extra snack-sized serve of GGSP, where we review some Broomstick League.
Speaking of cleaning, this place is filthy. Oh! How you humans create so much dust is beyond me.
It's just one of our many talents, Darren.
Oh, you missed a spot.
Oh, the dust, it never ends.
Until next time, Gem out.
Rat out.
Darren out. Ugh, dirty. Charging my clean ray.